Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh!
I actually saw it the very first episode it aired in 1999. I was 3 years old.
Skylar Munkers recalls his first time watching Spongebob Squarepants on Nickelodeon.
I didn't really start paying attention and caring about it until about 2001, 2002. That's when the show really started to hit its peak and started to gain traction and be the flagship for Nickelodeon. So once I started being able to remember plot points and remember episodes, that's when I started to really go, man, this is a funny show. This is a good show.
Our generation, we grew up with the day one episodes.
Yadira Arredondo is also a longtime fan of the show.
And those episodes don't really get aired a lot as much as the newer ones.
Both Skylar and Yadira have been watching SpongeBob for years. But what episodes do they consider to be their favorite?
Definitely the Krusty Krab training video.
Preparing the Krabby Patty!
At that point in time, the episodes of SpongeBob were, let's see what SpongeBob's doing. That was one where that wasn't the point at all. It was literally a complete genre break. And for a children's show, it's not very common to decide to do an entirely different genre.
The Krusty Krab pizza, when they want to start delivering pizza, I think that's probably the best one.
The crab pizza is the pizza absolutely.
That's probably my favorite episode of all time because it shows everybody's character all in in one whole episode, because you see Mr. Krabs wanting to make money, so he just sells pizza because some customer says, oh yeah, I'll pay you for pizza, and all right, we'll start making pizza, even though they have no background in making pizza. But there you already see he likes money, he likes business. And then Squidward hates the whole entire time because he has to go with SpongeBob, so you can already see the relationship that he dislikes SpongeBob, he dislikes his job, and then you see SpongeBob basically being himself throughout the whole entire episode, and that's hilarious within itself. So I think it's just because you could see a little bit of everybody and how they react to each other.
If you want to compare it to educational children's television, it's one of the worst in the world.
What confused me is how Mr. Krabs' daughter was Pearl and she's a whale.
Chris Gonzalez remembers how confused he was as a child while watching the show.
That confused me a lot. I didn't really know what to think about that. And I was just trying to put signs together, and I was like, wait, that makes no sense. There would be campfires underwater. That'd be kind of confusing. I remember thinking about that. And then they had a lagoon inside. Oh, that didn't make any sense to me either. How is there water inside water? Things like that wouldn't make sense to me, because I thought about that type of thing, and I'd be like, why is there water in water? And I asked my mom about it. Because when you're a kid, you don't really think about these things. You just watch it.
I think my mom probably didn't like it just because she thinks even today that it's a dumb show. It has nothing to offer in a way. But she likes it. I guess now because we're older, she'll laugh at some episodes, or whenever we reference stuff, me and my sister, she'll be laughing. But I think when I was younger, I think she was more why are you watching that? And or change it to something else and stuff. So I don't think she disliked it. She probably was just that's not adding to your developmental education in a way.
There's a reason why they recommend you're not younger than 7 or 8 and watching it, which is, I was younger than that watching it, and it's actually bad for your health and your growth. But if you're of age, it's a pretty good show. For just comedies in general, it's up there. The way they mix children's humor, children's plot lines with more adult humor, and the way that it just was fun to watch with my mom. She can enjoy herself watching it just the same that I was. You can laugh at it as a kid because, wow, Patrick fell, that's funny. But then what he says makes the adults laugh in the room.
Fans of SpongeBob know the show has a lot of unique and relatable characters. Which characters do Skylar and Yadira feel they relate the most to?
Probably Plankton, just because Squidward's a close second, and I like those two characters because they're the most, as you get older, you start to relate more, and you start to see what their struggles are, and you go, wow, it's really annoying having to deal with all of these other just obtuse characters who won't stop laughing, won't stop being dumb. And him just dealing with it, the best episode of that is where he switched bodies with Mr. Krabs and has an existential crisis, and the final line that he leaves with is,
Goodbye, everyone. I'll remember you all in therapy.
That line made me love him for the rest of time, just because he's way too adult for the rest of the characters on the show, and the fact that he's tiny just makes it even worse for him.
Now being older, I feel more like Squidward, but I think when I was younger, I was probably like Patrick or something, because stuff just goes over his head all the time, and that's still me. But I think now that I'm older, like I see on social media, on Twitter all the time, like, oh yeah, I relate to Squidward a lot, but like for real, it'd be really spot on sometimes that he's just sitting there and he's just like, I hate everybody, and then it's like me at work and I'm like, I hate everybody here, like so I think it's like way more relatable now that I'm older.
I hate all of you.
He's Squidward, she's Squidward, we're all Squidward. Except for Chris Gonzalez, who shares a different opinion about our favorite underwater pessimist.
I remember Squidward always annoying me. Just because he was always in a bad mood. And then I would say I'm a little bit of Spongebob because he has a good work ethic. Because he always went to work. He was always happy to be at work, even though he's worked there. I don't know how long he's worked there, but I'm pretty sure he's worked there for a pretty long time. So to have a positive mindset about something like that, like just like flipping burgers and stuff, just gives you an idea of like he really likes that. So if he really likes something, then it's not really work. So I guess I bring that work ethic into athletic training because I really like it.
My mom, she's really like money oriented, so she like tries to save money or tries to like stretch her dollar to the max, and I feel like she relates a lot to Mr. Krabs because he's the exact same way. I mean, he's cheap though, but like a lot, but in a way like he's like money oriented.
Hello, I like money.
I think I see a little bit of everybody throughout, I don't know, the people that I encounter in life, because it's really relatable.
SpongeBob is such an iconic show. What are some of the ways it's influenced our generation?
Probably in our comedy, for sure.
You always see memes about SpongeBob. Like, there's always memes on Twitter or like memes on any type of social media about SpongeBob. The one with Mr. Krabs where he's like sobbing on the ground and all his parts are everywhere. And like if people would tweet that, it'd be like mood and stuff like that. Like stuff like that makes me laugh.
The one where it's like Patrick has their $3 he's like, I got $3, and like that meme is great because I use it all the time whenever it comes to like money stuff, and it's like I have no money, and it's like I'm gonna throw in, you know, a meme here and there, and you see it on social media, like you see it everywhere. So it's like even if you don't watch it, like you still are like exposed to that, you know. But I think they're pretty hilarious. I like seeing them on like social media and stuff.
It's not the originator, but I think when television shows started becoming the meme like Haven and the playground for it, SpongeBob was the heaviest one because our generation grew up during that as kids, so they're like, oh yeah, that was a funny scene, and it's easy to rip things, and when you post it, basically most of our generation has seen at least 1 or 2 episodes of that show, so they immediately know where it's from, and they probably know that episode in particular, so I honestly think it's in the meme renaissance.
So what is the underlying message of SpongeBob?
I think it depends on what character you care about, because like if it's SpongeBob, I think the whole point is to just I'm ready. Is that no matter what the challenges of the day, I'm ready for whatever's coming my way. Patrick's is sort of just just go with the flow and be who you are. Squidward is please leave me alone. Mr. Krabs is make money.
Money!
I think the overall impression of the show is to just enjoy your adolescence and just be a kid as long as you can.
Sandy, Mr. Krabs, Squidward, even Patrick or SpongeBob themselves, like the stuff that they, like the people that they encounter, and then the people, like the situations that they're in, like they always end up like going back to how it was, like whatever the conflict was, like they're always like, oh, okay, like we're still best friends, or you're still my boss, or you're still my neighbor. Like it's not like some big old thing where it's like, oh, you know, like because of this, like we're not gonna, you know, have a relationship. So I feel like in a way relationships mean a lot, like however whatever relationship you have with people, you know, like it could mean a lot to the other person. To SpongeBob, it always means way more than like to other people, you know.
The creator of the show, Steven Hillenberg, he just was a marine biologist who just really wanted to teach kids about marine biology, and so he had a little comic strip at his department at a you know, the facilities where like they have the animals that you touch in the water. He worked at one of those, and he had little comics that he would draw himself with SpongeBob or a form of that would just give out facts. And it was just such a interesting concept that he wanted it to become a television show, and he just put his heart and soul into it. And it just, you can feel that in the first few seasons of like just a show that the guy just wanted to make, and you don't get that enough anymore. And it's those bright little stars of shows that's why it's still on to this day, is because it's an icon. It's Nickelodeon. That's their mascot. Just interesting to show, like, if you care enough, you can get your material and get your shows put out there, even if they're just for children. Like, they can touch people's lives, and you should be happy about that. And that's why I'm very sad that he passed away, because he was a cool guy. I liked watching him in interviews. I liked his show. I just liked him.
Rest in peace to the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants, whose show has touched the lives of so many. May his legacy live on. For Fresno State Focus Radio Edition, this is Alexandra Harrell.
SpongeBob!